What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol DIS for Disney, Walt Disney, of course. On the left-hand side, we are looking at the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First thing I need to point out is that we did get an earnings announcement after the bell today, so let's go ahead and turn on our extended hour session and see what's going on. Nice move to the upside here in Disney on the initial number, and it looks like even during the conference, prices are holding up high, which is exactly what you want to see for potential follow-through into the next day. But that, of course, does bring into question the potential gap rules that we need to pay attention to. So just, for round numbers sake, let's say that we're opening around here, 188.50. Let's say the pre-market high is up here at 189.88. Let's turn those extended hour sessions off now. You can see that's not even on the screen. We'll shift our attention over to the daily just to talk about potential scenarios as we head into the bell at 9:30. But keep in mind, a lot can change between now and then. This is how I would think about navigating this gap, right? As always, we have the gap close around 179.72. That is quite a sizable gap, just about $10, right? So we're not expecting it to fill all in one day, but if we open here, fail to take out the overnight high on an opening drive higher, your short is back down through the open to start to fade and fill into this gap. Now, I would argue on a gap this size, you should be looking at about 50% retracement. And again, just based on the numbers we have so far, that would roughly be around 184 as your 50% gap fill area. So maybe you look to cover half of your short position here and then the other half on the full gap fill if you're someone who would like to hold out for a potential swing here on Disney. Now, the other case, of course, is a gap and go, meaning we go higher, we hold the gap, and the market kind of rallies here in favor of Disney. What would that look like? Well, if we open here and we consolidate anywhere in this range, then fantastic. Take the break over the pre-market high, 190 as it sits right now just about. And what are our upside targets here? Well, looking at the daily time frame chart, we're kind of at an area of resistance, right? So make pretend with me, pretend that extends to the left. You can see we are at resistance here. Looking left after that, what's our next major pivot? And I would argue it's kind of up here, right? Towards those all-time highs around 198.35. Now, this has been in a little bit of a pullback mode after an impressive run here the past couple of earnings cycles. So maybe it has some room to run, like all the way up there. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, gap is going to be the thing that drives this play. What happens with the pre-market high? Do we violate the open? That's going to be your driver here. If one of those two things happen, you know you have a trade on your hand. Another thing that I'm noticing here that I kind of like as a downside area to pay attention to is this here. You can see prior support, kind of support in here, then turned resistance, and not quite resistance, but support on those two lower wicks. 182.50 should also be on your radar to the downside if we get a gap and start to fill for the fade underneath that 184. So again, some support coming in around that area, 50% of the gap, so on and so forth. We're not really, it wouldn't be too effective to really talk about 30-minute levels since we are opening so much higher above these. So for now, we'll leave it off at that here on Disney. One last thing I guess that I will point out is that if you draw in a resistance trend line, something like this from the high down like that, you can clearly see we are gapping up and over that. So there is potential here for a trend change inside of Disney. So if you enjoyed today's video, let me know down below in the comments section or by simply giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description. And all of that being said, we wish you a green trading week.